click. We are live. Welcome back to another edition of Earle Sports Bets. Is my connection good?
Yes, you're fine. Keep going.
Okay. It just shows it keeps cutting out on my end, but it is what it is. Today we are on to the second team in the National League East. We have 4 more videos to go. We will be doing 3 today, and then we'll be saving the Mets for tomorrow. We're doing the Phillies here. Let's take a look at what the Phillies did last year. In 2022, they snapped their playoff drought by making it into the last wild card spot. My internet sucks, so it's not letting me click on the National League. All right, cool. I don't remember what the record was last year, and my connection's being stupid. So they did make it into the last wild card spot. Then they used that last wild card spot to make it all the way to the World Series. And we'll take a look at what they did in the offseason to
87 and 75, 14 games back.
Gotcha. But yeah, we'll look at their additions and their re-signings and their subtractions. Jake Cave, the big one here, Trey Turner, Tajon Walker, Craig Kimbrel, Gregory Soto, Josh Harrison, and they re-signed Jose Alvarado. Their subtractions, Johan Camargo, Kyle Gibson, Noah Syndergaard, David Robertson, Brad Hand, Zach Eflin, Gene Segura, and Matt Bierling. Obviously, the big addition here, they signed Trey Turner. Great addition. Good top of the lineup bat. Gets on base. Has some power. Overall, one of, if not the best shortstop in baseball. Hell of an addition for them there. Tajon Walker is going to be a nice middle of the rotation arm. They improved their bullpen by re-signing Alvarado, getting Gregory Soto from the Tigers, and Craig Kimbrel. So overall, I think they did improve on that side. They kind of replaced Syndergaard with Walker, and they replaced Robertson with Kimbrel. Brad Hand they replaced with Soto. So overall, I think this team about the same. I felt like everything went right for them last year, though. So we'll see if that can happen again for them this year. What's your thoughts, additions, and subtractions here?
Trey Turner is obviously a big splash. So good for them to go out and get somebody. And they locked him down long term. He got paid. Tajon Walker, he should be good for about the first half. Craig Kimbrel, we'll see what he does this year. Soto's a solid piece. I like him. Josh Harrison's a veteran in the locker room, so that's probably a solid piece there. They lost Gibson, lost Syndergaard. Those are 2 starting pitchers. Zach Eflin in there as well. Brad Hand, another pitcher. They've lost a lot of pitchers, but they kind of replaced them with Kimbrel, Soto, and Alvarado and Walker. So I guess they replaced them. I feel like they got slightly worse with pitching. They lost Gene Segura, which was a veteran in their locker room. Matt Verling, well, whatever. And then it's not really a subtraction, but they're going to be without Rhys Hopkins for the year after he tore his ACL in a spring training game. So it is what it is for the Phillies. I think they got slightly worse even with getting Trey Turner.
Fair. And we will move into their prospects here. They are the number 26th ranked prospect pool. They do have the number 6 ranked prospect in baseball due up this year, Andrew Painter. So he should be interesting to see what he does. Obviously, a highly touted prospect here. And Mick Abel, a right-handed pitcher, is due up next year. I'm interested to see what they're going to get from Painter this year. Maybe he's going to fit into that 5 spot potentially in the rotation. But not too much to go over here at the Phillies farm system. I feel like they've traded most of them for buy now, win now mode. So we'll get into their lineup, their rotation, their bullpen. Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto, Derek Hall, Nick Castellanos, Bryson Stott, Alec Boehm, Jake Cave, and Brandon Marsh. Their starting pitchers, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, Tajon Walker, Bailey Falter, and Matt Strom. And then their bullpens, Andrew Vasquez, Junior Marte, Connor Brogdon, Andrew Bellatti, Gregory Soto, Craig Kimball, Jose Alvarado, and Sir Anthony Dominguez. I think this bullpen's definitely improved from last year. That's one thing that popped out to me. I remember Phillies last year were a first 5 team only for me. They definitely improved their bullpen, so maybe you can start playing them full games. I think that top 2 in their rotations probably one of the best 1-2 punches in baseball.
Yep.
Tayshaun Walker is good, and then it falls off a cliff from there. Maybe that's where we'll see a Painter come in and be one of their 4 or 5 starter. This lineup, though, is going to score some runs. Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Rio Muto, only one of the best catchers in baseball. Derek Hall, going to be interesting to see how he does with the increase in playing time with with Hoskins out. Our favorite, Nick Castellanos. He's always good when a tragic event happens. Bryson Stott, Alec Boehm, Jake Cave. It kind of falls off after that, though. I'm not a fan of Stott, Boehm, Cave, and Marsh. So kind of a top-heavy lineup for me here. This could be an easy lineup to kind of pitch around once you get to the bottom there. But overall, I do think they're going to score some runs. I think overs with this team is going to be interesting, and I think this team could be a good team to at certain prices, obviously. But I still think this is a third-place team in the National League East like they were last year. I know they made the World Series, so they'll probably get a little bit of positive bias here towards that. But I like this team still. I think this is a very talented team. Very top-heavy, though. Very, very top-heavy, but I think very good still.
Trey Turner is going to definitely make a big impact. Schwarber, solid piece. Real Muto, solid. That top 3 lineup's awesome. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the bottom 6. Hall, obviously not having Reese Hopkins is going to hurt. Nick Castellanos hasn't looked good since Cincinnati. Bryson Scott could have a good year. Boehm, same deal. Cave and Marsh, I'm not super high on. If they're going to win, it's going to have to be with pitching. The top 2 in the rotation, solid. Probably one of the best 1-2s in baseball with Nola and Wheeler. Other than that, Tayshaun Walker should be good for the first half of the year like usual and then fall apart. Falter, not high on him, and Strom, not high on him. And what was one of the big things that happened for the Phillies last year in order for them to really have a good run? Oh yeah, they had an overachieving bullpen.
Yes.
I don't see that happening this year. Krimble, I think, is kind of fallen off. They picked him up, cool, but I don't really see it. Soto's going to be solid. You had career years from Alvarado and Dominguez last year. I'm not really sold on them doing that again. The rest of the bullpen is meh. I might have a little bit of a surprising kind of deal when it comes to the Phillies this year, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, then now we'll ask the question, how are we going to make money off this team? Team win total 88.5 for the former National League champions here. Minus 250 to make the playoffs. Only minus 250. It's kind of interesting there. Plus 195 to miss the playoffs. Plus 400 to win the National League East. Plus 900 to win the National League. 18-1 to win the World Series. I'm not looking at any of the bottom 3. I think there may be a little bit of value with the National League there. But I think one thing that kind of tells me everything I need to know is a team that just made the World Series is only minus 250 to make the playoffs. They really don't have much belief in them, and I can see why. I mean, they're in a tough division. The Mets and the Braves on top of that division. We know that the Padres and the Dodgers are going to take 2 playoff spots. So kind of it comes down to them, and then obviously a Central winner. And maybe they're going to be fighting with Milwaukee and Chicago for that last wild card spot. So I could see this potentially similar to the way I viewed a couple teams in hockey this year, where they're a wild card team at best. So maybe there's some value on taking them to miss the playoffs. I think this is one of those teams where I think there's maybe a little bit of value for them to miss the playoffs here at plus 195, because I can see them fighting with a couple teams for a wild card spot. So I'm going to lean that way. I'm not really going to take a stab at the season win total because I could see them winning 86 to 90 games. So I feel like this is a team that's a huge wild card. I'll probably look to take a stab at plus 195 for them to miss. But other than that, not too much for me here.
Well, in previous shows, I have money on the Cubs and the Diamondbacks to both make the playoffs. Someone's got to fall out. I think it's Philly. I'm going to take them under, and I'm going to take them playoffs. No, I think losing Reese Hopkins is going to definitely hurt. I think that bullpen overachieved last year. I think this team, I'm going to make the comparison. I think they're the UNC Tar Heels. I think they're a team that had a miracle run through the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to miss it altogether this year. This is if this is the one team that I think is going to be a little bit of a disappointment this year. I think you're going to have great years out of Nola and out of Wheeler. That rest of that rotation, I'm not super high on. That lineup that everybody was hyping up doesn't look as good as I thought it would. They have the top 3 guys that are fantastic. I just think there's way too much hype behind this team, and I'm actually going to take Philly under because I know a lot of people are taking Philly either over or Philly to win the division, the National League, the World Series. Everybody's super high on them. I don't see it this year. I think they had a really good year last year, but everything went right. Oh, by the way, they're going to miss Bryce Harper for like half the year as well.
Yeah.
Once he comes back, is he going to be the same?
Yeah.
That's a good question because he's been injured so many times. So I feel like Bryce Harper, although he will always be an MVP candidate, I think he's going to drop off a little bit when he comes back. This is a Phillies team. Hey, you made the World Series last year. That's good. It's improvement. I think this year's you got a little bit too much hype behind you. I'll take the under and I'll take no playoffs.
All right. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards that no playoffs as well. I could see them being an 86 win baseball team, 88 win baseball team, and missing the playoffs, something along those lines. But yeah, so that's probably where I'm going to look here. We will be back in a couple minutes with the Miami Marlins. So we'll do that. But anything you want to say before we head out?
Nope.
All right. See you.